Hi, I'm Sachin, and like me, if you're headed to a long trip, I'm going to give you 10 points to check before you really start out. Even before you come onto the motorcycle, first check all your vehicle documents. That includes your registration, your insurance, your pollution certificate, and your driving license as such. And make sure that all of these documents are valid for the entire duration of your ride. Now we come to the motorcycle. Let's start with the wheel. Now, the most important thing is where the rubber meets the road. So, check for the condition of your tires, and that's not just your tread depth, but also how it's seated on the rim here. And I like to use a torch whenever I'm inspecting, even if it's during daylight, and that's primarily because it helps me focus and it really shows out the minor defects, if any. So, check your sidewalls, see if it's seated properly everywhere. You can even rotate your tire as such, and make sure that you inspect it properly. And while we are at it, the second point, give a good look at your chain. Make sure that all your rollers and links are absolutely rust free, and look at the sprocket. Make sure that it's an even and symmetrical pattern. If you find that it's really wearing out more towards one side and your sprocket looks a little asymmetric, then it's time to change it, and you better do it before you start rather than in the middle of your ride. Uh, at the wheel, also uh, give a thorough check to your wheel. So hold it on the opposite ends and pull with one hand and push with the other. So try and do this alternating motion and see if anything gives or moves. That's a good indication in that sense. Yeah. Um, Now we come to the suspension. Uh, a lot of us ignore the rear suspension, but your rear suspension can also leak out. If you see this nice shiny rod, make sure there are no traces of oil on it. A good idea is to roll up a tissue and pass it around here, so that in case there are any traces of oil, you can see it on the tissue there. In the front, make sure that your forks are absolutely clean with no sort of uneven scoring marks or no indications that there could be a leakage anywhere. If you've got covers like this, it's worth opening them and checking for any traces of leakage. Should be easy enough to do in most cases. So this is clean, this is good. Make sure it's the same on your bike as well. Then there's three fluids to check on a motorcycle. One is your brake fluid, which is here. You'll always find it near your front brake lever. And similarly, there's brake fluid at the back, which you'll find it near your rear brake. So always trace there will be a reservoir somewhere or the other. That's brake. Then there will always be an engine oil indicator somewhere on the engine. In some motorcycles, it might be a dipstick, so go with that. And then you have coolant. Coolant is, you might be sometimes in a difficult or a hard to spot place. On this bike, it's really in here if you can see it. But anyway, you will find the coolant on your bike. And for coolant, if you're not having any overheating problems and you find that your coolant is at the lower level, just leave it like that. Don't really top up your coolant by too much. Then we come to the battery. There are very few ways to really quickly check your battery. But if you've been using your motorcycle and you find that lately your motorcycle is not very eager to start when it's cold or after you've left it unridden for a few days, then it's worth taking your motorcycle to a professional uh, battery dealer or to your authorized service center, because most of these batteries are they're not easily available when you're on the road, so you might as well sort that out now itself. Especially if your battery is coming to the end of its life, that might be 2 years, 3 years and above. It's worth changing. Apart from that, give it a good look over. Of visual inspection is really valuable, and do the knock knock test where you're sort of banging against hitting everything, really to see if anything rattles or is loose, creates any unusual noise. Then this is something you better get attended before you start. And of course, the last thing, if your bike is still running cables, then check your cables. Again, I like to use a torch here. First of all, just make sure that there is smooth operation. You're not facing any unusual resistance when you move your clutch lever. See if the condition of your cable, especially the one that is inside the outer cable, see if that's good, nice, shiny. Check for any signs of fraying or rust. Similarly on this other end as well. So as long as everything looks clean, we're good to go. I'll also show you how to check your brake pads. Again, using a torch makes this very easy. As you can see, this is the backing material, and there's between the disc and the backing material, that is your pad. So mine seem to be about halfway done, but it might last the whole trip. Apart from just the depth of the pad, also check if they're wearing out unevenly. So if they're wearing out unevenly, that's also a sign of trouble that you must attend to before you start your ride. Well, I hope that helps. See you on the road sometime. See you. Bye.